But Jirov bends over when he comes forward and gives away a lot of that height advantage. They weighed in at 188, 190. Tonight, 194 and 196. The relatively small kick up in both instances indicates that both guys were in terrific shape when they arrived at the scale yesterday. Reach equal at 74. Arm length measured from the armpit to the end of the fist, a half-inch advantage for Toney. Rules of the bout with our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman.
The Vassiliy Jirov James Toney fight is scheduled for 12 rounds using the unified rules of the Association of Boxing Commissions. There is no 3 knockdown rule. Only the referee can stop the fight. In case the cut is caused by an accidental headbutt, we go to the scorecards if the 4 rounds have been completed, and you cannot be saved by the bell in any round, including the 12th and final round. Jim.
Well, there was a moment in time after James Toney knocked out Tim Littles and then beat up Prince Charles Williams in 1994 when some experts regarded him as the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the sport. But that was exactly the moment at which he allowed his weight to balloon to 214, had to lose more than 40 pounds in a period of less than 4 weeks to get ready for the fight against Jones, and came in a listless performance that was partially his fault, partially, of course, Jones's dominance. Here's a closer look at James Toney. Old school, trained, as Emmanuel told you earlier, voiceover by the veteran trainer Bill Miller of Detroit. James Toney knows as many of the old fight tricks as any fighter in the game. No more young and dumb, he says, acknowledging that his lifestyle took him out of the boxing elite back in the day when he was fighting Jones and others of his ilk. Unbeaten with 4 losses, James Toney, despite the 4 losses on his record, insists to us that nobody's ever really beaten him face-to-face. He's beaten himself with his bad habits, but he's never really, in his view, lost a fight. That's the kind of arrogance that makes Toney the fighter that he is. And meanwhile, here's Vassiliy Jirov. He's known mostly as a body puncher, Manny, but expand on this point. You say you trained him, and he's a hard puncher with both hands, not just the left.
He punches hard with both hands, and he's a very busy fighter. And cumulative, he can wear you down and hurt you. Where Toney will wear you down, maybe, but it's not so much a puncher as compared to this guy here. But the one thing is, I just don't know if he gets whacked pretty good by Toney, if he can take the punches, if they end up having a slugfest, whether he can take the punch, even though he's a good puncher himself.
And a closer look at the Russian Tiger, Vassiliy Jirov, banking on the breadbasket. He plans to go right at James Toney's belly and determine whether Toney's lifestyle deficiencies have left him with a deficit in being able to stay in tough competition. 14-month layoff for Jirov, who's been plagued by problems with a former manager, financial and legal problems. His trainers worry somewhat about rust, but they say this kind of fighter will get his rhythm back in a hurry. Kazakh from paradise. He had a very difficult upbringing in Kazakhstan, where the national team coach put him through extraordinarily difficult training regimens. Then 2 weeks after the Olympics in '96, moved to the Valley of the Sun in Phoenix and has lived more or less in American paradise ever since.
Scottsdale, Arizona.
Let's go up to Michael Buffer for the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the IBF Cruiserweight Championship of the World. Brought to you by DeBella Entertainment in association with Foxwoods Resort and Casino of Mashantucket, Connecticut, the King of Beers, Budweiser, and Perfect 10 Magazine, along with Goose and Tudor Promotions. This contest is sanctioned by the Mashantucket Pequot Tribal Nation Athletic Commission, Chairman Joey Carter, Vice Chairman Richard Butler. The scoring will be done on a 10-point system, and the 3 judges at ringside will be Glenn Feldman, Melvina Lathan, and Steve Weisfeld. And when the bell rings, your referee in charge of the action, working for the 105th time in a world title bout, Steve Smoger. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Foxwoods, DeBella Entertainment, and HBO Sports, we dedicate and salute the men and women who serve and sacrifice with valor and honor. Our heroes, the members of the Armed Forces of the United States of America. And now, let's get ready to rumble! World Champion! Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black and his official weight stands at 190 pounds. He has an outstanding professional career, 65 victories, including 42 knockouts with 4 defeats and 1 bout even. From the Motor City, Detroit, Michigan, here is the challenger, the former 7-time world champion, James "Lights Out" Toney. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner. Wearing tiger stripes, he officially weighs 188 pounds. Since capturing Olympic gold in 1996, he has a perfect professional record consisting of 31 bouts, 31 victories, including 27 knockouts. From Bulgash, Kazakhstan, here is the reigning, defending, undefeated IBF Cruiserweight Champion of the World, Vassiliy, the Tiger, Jirov.
That's you, baby. Thanks, Mike. All right, gentlemen, you were given your instructions to weigh in. Please obey my commands, respect the belt, and above all, protect yourself at all times. Trunks are good. Touch them up. Touch the gloves, gents. James, touch the man's glove. Thank you. Okay, thank you.
James is coming in with an attitude already.
Well, that's the man. It's a cruiserweight fight, but the winner will in all likelihood try to call out a heavyweight after the fight. Not just any heavyweight, the one named Jones. One key tactical element. Vassiliy Jirov, as we mentioned, will bend over to try to go to James Toney's belly. Can Toney catch him with an uppercut and change his life?
Yes, he can. And also, I saw Jirov get hurt by a left hook.
Some observers say, and Emmanuel, I think I heard you say this earlier this evening, that you've never really seen James Toney hurt in the ring.
Never saw him hurt, and for the most part, never saw him really beaten decisively. You know, just Roy beat him because Roy was just Roy with his speed. But, you know, James is fighting a smart fight right now. He's seemingly trying to shoot the straight right hand through the center and gives very, very little of a target.
And Jirov hasn't gotten to that breadbasket yet. He throws one left into the belly.
Jirov is having a lot of problems already trying to find a way to properly hit Toney. And it looks better for James at this stage right now than Jirov for the first.
When we talk about old school, look at Toney's use of his hands, his head, the way he rolls away from punches, the way he wraps the right hand. He does things that you might have seen in the 30s and 40s and not as much today.
No, he uses every part of his body to protect himself.
Maybe Bernard Hopkins is the one other fighter who shows you the same kinds of tricks that Toney will foster during the fight.
But more so, I think, yeah, probably next, but I think James is probably leading it. The only thing, James has had a lot more wear and tear on him than Bernard.
Hard right hand by Toney. Best punch of the round, backed Jirov off half a step. Jirov took it though, keeps coming. There's a left to the body by Jirov, the first one to really dig in. Toney shaking his head as if to say, you're not going to hurt me with that.
Jirov still can't find a comfortable angle to land punches in.
Little right hand by Toney, back Jirov out. Jirov lands the left himself. Jirov jabbing, but kind of half-heartedly. Toney pops him with one in return. And you see the defensive skills of Toney there.
Yeah, but Jirov is putting a lot of pressure on him. He's making him work a lot faster and more than he normally would work.
Mental pressure from round to round, like few opponents have been able to do to James Toney.
Yes, yes.
Hard punches by Jirov there.
good round. And I think it's going to get better as the fight goes on.
Hey, look, take that down. Look, you got to keep hitting something. You know what I'm saying? All right? All right? Vassiliy, see? Look, keep hitting something. Follow what I'm saying? And look, remember, when he plants that foot, step around and get a clean shot. You got me?
Yep, sir.
All right. How you feel?
Okay. Why don't you use that jab a little bit more and use those pants a little bit more, okay? All right? You've got to come back with more than one shot from me, okay? All right? You came back with the one counter real nice, okay? You can come back with two, okay? Yeah, behind the right hand, you want to go? Okay. Behind the right hand, put the left hook, right? Okay. Give him a drink. It's all right.
Here's the one right-hand counter by James Toney.
Toney is landing the more effective and precise punches, but with the pace that Jirov is setting, if Toney doesn't knock him out, it's going to be pretty rough on him going down the stretch.
And Jirov was the one who was landing combinations, and now Toney fighting hard off the ropes, and Jirov bangs him back into them.
Yeah, Jirov has been very physical with James.
Tommy Brooks and Thel Torrance training Jirov want him to go in and be the boss from the start. They don't want Toney to gather any confidence in the fight.
No, one of the things when you fight any fighter, if you can make him fight at a little bit faster pace than he normally fights, that you have a great advantage.
Well thrown straight right hand by Toney. Jirov with a good left to the belly.
Body shot him.
Toney didn't like it.
No.
Now Jirov lands upstairs and blocks Toney's left. Small trickle of blood out of the right nostril of Vassiliy Jirov. No doubt the product of one of Toney's accurate counter shots.
Toney's very accurate with his shots.
Toney steps into a southpaw stance as Jirov rakes him with the left. Comes back with the right to the top of the head. Another right on the temple. Jab. Toney not throwing much. Jirov to the body. Jirov throwing more upstairs than Toney might have expected and landing.
And even though he's not landing all of them, he's landing enough of them. And Toney is, I don't think, prepared for this pace.
Vassiliy Jirov, despite a 14-month layoff, comes in and fights the first two rounds at a blistering pace. And Toney is able to fight back only intermittently, though effectively when he does.
And he's going to have to throw a left hook behind that right hand, too, because he's trying to land it all with the right hand. And the pace is just a lot faster than he wants. And you can see him landing the ropes down to support himself.
And Vassiliy got the left to the belly again. And Jirov throws at close range as Toney backed him off for a moment with a right to the chest. But again, the fast pace, Jirov's hands releasing at a rate that Toney just can't match. If Vassiliy Jirov can handle James Toney's big shots, he's going to wear him out at this rate.
Yeah, and Toney's not a particular really big dangerous puncher, but he's a good puncher. But at the pace that Jirov is setting right now, it looks pretty rough for James.
There's a low blow from Jirov. Steve Smoger tells him to keep it up. Jirov lands low again. Smoger didn't see that one. Toney comes back with a body shot and a right. A lot of action here.
I'm surprised that James hasn't thrown his left hook more.
In the first two rounds of the fight, Vassiliy Jirov is averaging 90 punches a round, and he's making James Toney work at a rate that isn't comfortable for him. Next Saturday night, May 3, Oscar De La Hoya makes his return to the ring when he puts his 154-pound title on the line against rugged veteran Yuri Boy Campos. In addition, 126-pound titleist Eric Morales defends his title against Fernando Bobby Boy Velardes. May 17, lightweight belt holder Paul Spadafora takes on Romania's Leonard Dorin in Spadafora's hometown of Pittsburgh. Also in action that evening, middleweight prospect Jermaine Taylor. And on June 7, installment 3 of Arturo Gatti versus Mickey Ward. They split the two previous meetings, one of which was clearly the fight of the year for 2002. Now look to a rubber match as boxing's most entertaining rivalry outside of Barrera Morales continues. HBO Boxing, for 30 years, building legends one round at a time. Irish Mickey Ward of Lowell, Mass. 1-1 in his battles against Arturo Gatti. And now that the deal has been made for the third fight and Mickey doesn't like the deal, he's got new incentives. Low blow by Jirov there. And this one should give James Toney 5 minutes to recover.
You can have up to 5, James. Take your time. 5-minute clock.
Now this comes after Jirov threw 102 punches in the second round and landed 12 solid shots to the body.
Next one is a point. That's it.
Here's a look.
Next one's a point.
Blood curdling.
That was a low blow.
Well, and it's the second one that Smoger saw, but he did not deduct a point. Instead, he warned Jirov that the next time around a point would be deducted. He could have done so this time. Good night, Emmanuel.
He's giving him a break, but I don't think it's going to help him if he does it again. I think he's going to be very crucial and probably take points away from him.
And Toney comes right back out with aggression, firing right hands to try to show Jirov he's not diminished in any way by the low blow. And a big right hand by Toney, and Jirov keeps throwing, although without any balance. Toney jumps on it. Jirov's hands are down, and Toney takes advantage to land. But now James has to take a walk. Right on the belt line by Jirov. He's going to have trouble keeping him up, Manny.
Yes, and he's got the fight pretty much going in this way is control for him. But if he starts shooting those low punches, it can be crucial in this fight here because it's not going to be a one-sided fight to score.
Straight right hand by Toney, very effective. He's so quick.
And if James started coming back with the left hook, he'll really have something going for himself.
So far, Jirov taking Toney's punches well. When they trade at close range, Toney's quicker.
Yes.
His hands are quick.
And much shorter punches, too. Good right hand.
That right hand wobbled Jirov momentarily, but Jirov comes plunging forward again, trying to keep the pressure on Toney. Jirov's left eye beginning to swell slightly.
He's got those high cheekbones.
Good body shot by Jirov.
But the effective punches are coming from Toney.
And a hard left hand by Jirov and a straight left to the belly drives Toney back into the ropes. Good quick right hand counter by Toney. Both guys have shown what it is they can do and what they like to do in the first 3 rounds. Left and a right by Jirov. Another left to the body, again right on the belt line. Smoger was in perfect position. Let him have it. Finally, Jirov slips a punch. And Toney winks at the announcers as he goes back to his corner.
Great. Hey, look.
James is a
you gotta
warrior.
move your head on the inside, partner. You know what I'm saying? Where's that in swell at? Drop your hands, drop your hands. You gotta move your head on the inside, partner. You know what I'm saying? And look, you gotta throw more punches. Just don't be standing there, you know what I'm saying, man?
Yep.
Just like we worked on in the gym. Follow me?
Yep.
Okay.
Angles instead of room, all right? Don't move straight back off in your angles, all right?
Freddie
Just keep
Roach.
using those angles and keep turning this guy. You feel the ropes coming up when you get off him, okay, son? All right?
I got you, baby.
Okay.
Now, here's what Smoger's watching on the low blows, Emmanuel.
Yes, a lot of those blows are low. They're not dangerously low, but the fact that they're going low, and it's up to the referee. The one that he got to warning on was just obviously very badly low. But if he continues to punch like that, it may be a big factor on him going down the stretch, and I think he's going to do that more.
Big connect advantage for Toney in round 3. Had a huge round, landing 36 punches to only 12 for Jirov. Power connects through 3. They're about equal. 51 out of 164 Jirov. Toney, 54 out of 104. Thrillingly accurate. Harold, how do you have it through 3?
Okay, Jim. 29-28, 2 rounds to 1. James lights out Toney. Jim, I thought he did enough to outpunch Vassiliy Jirov and win the first round. A big second round for Jirov, but then Toney came back after that low blow and certainly won the third round. Jim, I got to tell you something that I see that I don't know if anybody else sees. James Toney is wearing a mouthpiece that just absolutely looks too big for him. Now, I mean, his face is absolutely distorted, and this has been since the opening bell. I don't know. He may be having a hard time breathing through that mouthpiece.
What do you think, Emmanuel, about the mouthpiece of Toney?
No comment.
So you think it's okay?
He must be used to it. I'm quite sure. You wouldn't go into a big fight with a new mouthpiece. At least I hope not.
Well, you certainly wouldn't expect a guy who's fought 70 fights to go into a fight with a new mouthpiece.
No,
he's got to know what he's doing.
But it does look too big. I agree with Harold.
Yeah, but it's every fighter's comfort zone. Maybe big is what he likes. Now, do you think Jirov has been inhibited at all by the danger of throwing low punches and getting penalized?
I think it may have slowed him down a lot from throwing, and he got his whole attack off because I know that they were concentrating a lot on trying to hurt James to the body. James keeps his body with his arms wrapped around him, so it's very difficult to penetrate his body, though.
You can almost see Jirov concentrating on not letting his left hand drift as far down on the arc for that punch, but rather throwing it horizontally.
And when he just takes his focus off of what he was doing to concentrate on that, it may put his whole battle plan off. Just enough for James to be effective.
Toney has countered with uppercuts, but much more effectively with straight right hands. Jirov's most effective stuff has been, as usual, his left hand to the body. Want to see a style contrast fight? Jirov-Tarver would be interesting. They're both tall southpaws, but one goes upstairs and one goes downstairs.
Both of them southpaws, so it would be a very good fight. Very interesting fight.
Toney measuring his performance now in round 4 without the same incentive that existed in round 3 when he was coming back from the low blow early. Jirov has managed to dominate the action here.
Well, you still have the age factor with James, and he's had a lot of fights on them, big fights too.
Physical activity in round 4 favors Jirov. Toney catches him with a good left hook counter to finish out the round.
Give it to me. You got it?
Yeah, anything.
Give me a little adrenaline in the show.
Boy, you know, baby, eyes blow. Hey, listen, look, you got to keep beating on this guy, man. He's running out of gas, you know what I'm saying? He can't be going up and down in the weight like he's going, but you got to beat on him, though. You know what I'm saying?
All right, let's back this guy up a little bit there. Let's take charge this round, okay, son? All right? Come on. I want you to break this guy down. Let's go to work, okay? He's ready to go. Mouthpiece.
Round 5, baby. We need some wins.
James Toney says to Freddie Roach, I'm breaking him down. You agree, Emmanuel?
Yeah, I think he's been more effective with his short punches. And you know, both guys are telling the other corner the same thing. But the real key punch to me is James Toney's left hook. If he can ever start landing the hook, I think he's going to hurt Jirov a little better than even the right hand.
Well, for some fighters, it's really hard to land the left hook against a southpaw because of the angle. But, of course, Jirov squares up and makes himself available more than most southpaws.
He gets square, and he's got his right hand down because he's always looking for right hands. He's never looking for the left hook.
CombiBox numbers through 4 find Toney landing 108 out of 245. That's a great connect percentage of 44%. Jirov 86 out of 326. James Toney lands a lot of punches for a counterpuncher because he lets his hands go freely.
Yes, he's landing clean, short, effective punches directly to the center Jirov's face. So as a matter of fact, as the fight goes on, Jirov might swell up a lot more.
Only 25 times in CompuBox history has a fighter landed more than 400 punches in a championship fight. One man, and only one, has done that 4 times. That's James Toney. The most punches ever landed in a championship fight, that's Vassiliy Jirov. That's why we expected a great fight tonight.
That's right.
A trade again. Wailing to the body, Jirov remains accurate through the last 2 rounds, getting to the center of the breadbasket. Toney still countering brilliantly.
Toney's landing the short, accurate punches, but Jirov is still making him fight at a pace that I don't think a man his age wants to fight at.
Jirov's face is busting up, though. Trickle of blood from the right nostril, both eyes swelling around the high cheekbones. There will be work to be done in Jirov's corner for cutman James Ispriduli, as well as for Tommy Brooks and Thel Torrance, who both know a thing or two about it themselves. Good combination by Jirov in the center of the ring. Takes one to give one.
Come on, son, let's go. You gotta hit something.
Body shots backing Toney off again. Good left hook by Toney. But Jirov landing 2 to take 1 as he keeps throwing to the body. This is a war. This is an all-out war.
God. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Hey, look, listen. I'm telling you, champ, the only way to win this thing and to keep your title, man, is to beat on this sucker, man. Okay. You can't be standing out there fucking looking, man. You gotta beat on his ass.
Finish this guy, okay? You put 2 together, it's there for you.
He's about to go. He's about to go anytime, JT. Come back with your head, man. When you throw it up, you gotta come back.
Now, James, the key to that round was backing him up. He can't fight going backwards, son.
Let's watch Toney throw the uppercut, scoring there.
And those kind of punches really cause your eye to close up very. Those glazing shots like that cause a lot of injury to the eyes.
No question about who looks the worse for wear as the result of the action to this point in the bout. Round 6 begins. Power punches in the 5th round, though. Toney, 18 out of 31. Jirov, 20 out of 50. And you heard Tommy Brooks asking for even more activity from Jirov. Go hit him. Beat on him, he said. I'm not sure how much more Jirov can let his hands go in this situation. Takes a hard right hand shot and a left and a right.
And he's not sitting down between rounds, too. I only know one guy who effectively did that was Big George Foreman. But George didn't waste that much energy. George picked his punches.
The most relaxed fighter I've seen in the modern era.
Yes, very relaxed man. But I think that Jirov would be better off if he would sit down and take a rest.
You can see the consternation in Tommy Brooks and Thel Torrance's eyes. Well, at least you can see it in Tommy's eyes. Thel Torrance is such a flatliner, you barely know that his fighter's fighting. He's emotion-free over there.
I guess he used to being so quiet, working with Eddie Futch all those years as assistant to Eddie. Let Eddie do most of the talking.
Smoker's letting them go. For a fight with this much physical activity, leaning all over each other, Smoker's letting them fight. Oh, what a display of counter shots by James Toney. This is brilliant stuff. Toney grinning as he controls the action.
And he's fighting where he wants to be, where he can stay in the ropes and don't have to use his legs.
Toney chatting with his corner people as Jirov bangs chopping right hands off his head. Solid shots from Toney. Jirov taking them well and coming forward.
Right back. Jirov has never backed up.
Vassiliy Jirov only knows one way to fight. He comes straight forward, digging to the belly, taking shots upstairs. And I wonder if Toney's strength and stamina are going to hold up against Jirov's continued effort.
Jirov has never backed up. Even though he's been hit with great shots, he always comes right back. Still making James work.
Not an easy fight to score.
Nope.
What a round.
Very good.
They got the cruiserweight version of Gaddy Ward brewing here.
It's turned out to be one tremendous fight. No one has been hurt seriously still.
In the small room at Foxwoods. And Perfect 10 magazine Girl of the Decade Ashley Degenford has won a lot of fans between rounds. Delivering the round card action with the same intensity with which Vassiliy Jirov pursues James Toney's ribcage. Ashley says if I can flirt with him just a little bit, I think they'll remember the Perfect 10. That's the flirt.
You gotta move your head, you just can't walk to the guy straight. Yes, sir. Move your head, baby. Come on, guys, let's go. My piece.
Don't get careless.
Like the first round. Like the first round. Okay.
I warned him.
Wipe that up.
Power connects in round 6. By CompuBox estimate, Jirov 15 out of 65. Throwing a lot, but that's only a 23% connect percentage. Toney, 27 out of 47. Phenomenal 57% accuracy, and a lot of them hard connects to the face. Harold, how do you have it halfway through?
Okay, Jim, I got it also a very, very close fight. 57-57, 3 rounds apiece. I got it all even to this point. All the odd rounds to James Toney. All the even rounds to Vassiliy Jirov. 2, 4, and 6 to Jirov. That 6th round, Vassiliy Jirov was just too busy. I thought he evened it up in the 6th round. But, Jim, you know, we talk about defense. Very rarely do you give a guy credit for defense. But James Toney gives you half the body to swing at. Great defense from behind that shoulder. Much like Floyd Mayweather did last week. Keeps that shoulder high, you can't hit him.
Well, certainly Toney is by far the superior defender to Jirov, given that even Tommy Brooks acknowledged yesterday, hey, Vassili's offense is his defense.
Yes.
Lest you think that Vassiliy Jirov will wilt under this punishment, won't like the pain of what James Toney's dealing out to him. Just remember that Kazakh national boxing coach Alex Apachinsky raised Jirov on a diet of such strange exercises as putting him in a closed hallway with German shepherds piped to the gills, or dropping him in the middle of a lake 3 miles from shore and paddling away. These are the kinds of things Jirov learned on, and it's hard to imagine he's going to wilt under any punishment.
Yeah, but one solid right hand to the head can change all of that.
It could. It could indeed. It could leave Apachinsky back in Kazakhstan saying, well, I didn't tell him about that.
Yeah, but so far, it seems like he's withstood all of it and continually come right back and got the best of every one of the exchanges at the tail end of it.
Jirov throwing and throwing, Toney picking his spots and hitting him. Brilliant, tough, accurate counter-punching by Toney, who lands a big left hook upstairs. The Russian Tiger keeps coming forward, stalking, trying to get to Toney's breadbasket.
Come on, beat on him! Beat on him!
It's astonishing, Emmanuel, that men can do this.
Yes, and then all of the blows that Jirov has taken, he still comes right back and is pushing James Toney to the limit.
Wow. May 17, Boxing After Dark returns with lightweight belt holder Paul Spadafora putting his title, his tattoos, and his undefeated record on the line against Romania's Leonard Dorin. Best remembered, if you remember him at all, for his 2 wins over Raul Balbi. That's Spadafora versus Dorin for Spadafora's 135-pound belt. Also that night, fast-rising middleweight prospect post-Olympics Jermaine Taylor looks to extend his record to 16-0 against Nicholas Cervera. HBO. For 30 years, building legends 1 round at a time. Well, we told you at the beginning of the evening that James Toney against Vassiliy Jirov might be an early candidate for Fight of the Year, and this fight is building its own legend 1 round at a time so far. Jirov threw 92 punches in the 7th round, his high for the fight. Toney threw 78 punches in the 7th round, his high for the fight. It wasn't quite the 9th round of Gaddy Ward 1, but it was memorable stuff.
That's it. Okay, that's right. Neutral corner.
Another low blow. This is going to cost Jirov a point.
Low blow.
Going to cost him a point, and it's going to put him within 2 low blows of a possible disqualification.
Stay up. Stay up. Stay up.
Good advice.
You need time? You sure? Okay. Regular clock. Regular clock.
It is a huge mouthpiece.
It is.
And now the last time Toney had to take time off after a low blow, he came back and dominated the round after that. Seemed to be energized by it. But here he gets raked by another body shot as he comes out of the corner and seems to be more measured. Look at the quick hands release for James Toney.
Short right hands.
Veteran boxing promoter Dan Goosen has his 3rd promotional business at play now. A brand new partnership with Southern California real estate mogul Ronnie Tudor. And he's built the whole organization around his belief that James Toney is going to rise back to the superstar level. He felt like the proper way to incentivize James was to say, James, I'm going to ride on your stardom. And Toney has responded to that. He says, I'm going to take the big goose to the top. Jirov having another big round now, trying to get back the point that he's lost for the low blow deduction. Toney lands 2 huge right hands.
Here comes James Toney right back.
And here comes Jirov stalking the body again. Jirov just never tires the man.
Never tires. He's putting a lot of pressure. James is fighting a good fight, but James doesn't want to fight at this tempo.
Big left hook for Toney. And the little right hand combo. Jirov keeps coming. It's a huge round for Jirov if he can win it, because he will avert the 1-point deficit that would have come from the deduction for the low blow, and with that last big left, Jirov just may have sealed the round.
James Toney is very, very tired now.
Hey, Don, drop in. You got to pick the pace up, okay? Get that taller. Don't squeeze it. I'm not. You got to pick the pace up. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look. We depend on this guy to run out of gas, man. But you got to beat on him. You know what I'm saying? Yes, sir. All right.
JT. You're throwing those combinations. It's beautiful out there, okay? Hey, don't stand in front of this guy. You gotta move that head for me, okay, son? All right? Use those angles, okay? Come on now, JT. All right, let's pick it up a little bit more. All right,
low blow. Yep.
No.
Toney right hand. Power punches in round 8. Jirov 18 out of 57. Toney 18 out of 44. Going into the 9th round, Vassiliy Jirov's already thrown 654 punches in the fight, averaging more than 80 punches per round. Fast pace, forcing Toney to fight at a pace not in keeping with his lifestyle of the past 10 years. But James says he's in the best shape he's ever been in, and so far he's holding up.
He's in good shape. I think the tempo right now is still taking its toll on him now. Particularly at the end of the last round, I could see it when he went back to the corner.
And now his legs begin to tire.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Slip, not a knockdown. Toney slipping right back into position for Jirov to bust him across the chops, and Toney goes to the body with good effect. Straight right hand busting Jirov right on the chin. Jirov's eyes have held up into the 9th.
Yep.
Looks like his vision will make it through the fight.
Watch your head, Vassiliy.
Again, Toney's activity level drops as Jirov bashes into the ropes and starts to go to work. And again, Toney finds his opportunities to counter. Some of the snap seems to be coming out of Toney's punches.
Yes.
And that's what happens, of course, when somebody beats you to the body and beats you to the body over and over and over.
And he's using his shoulders to move Toney around. He's just making it a very physical fight. James has landed some tremendous shots, but after every one of those exchanges, Jirov keeps coming back and making him work, making him work, making him work, making him work.
What a war of wills. Both guys fighting their fight.
He's smothering Toney right now.
Shortening the distance, limiting the damage of Toney's counter shots. Jirov just keeps beating him, beating him, beating him to the body. And Toney keeps coming back, but
he's hitting James.
Fewer and fewer punches.
Yes, James is getting hit on his shoulders, his elbows, everywhere.
Well, if you saw the movie Phone Booth, it wasn't as exciting as that.
One spot.
Breathe. Hey, look.
I'll get the nose. Put that thing on him.
It's 10th round coming up, bro. Look, you can't stand in front of this guy. You got to move your head, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
All right, just like we worked on in the gym, it's nothing different. This ain't no different, except this is for real now. You know what I'm saying?
Sir.
No different than the gym.
Breathe
This
from
is
your
for
mouth.
real, though.
Breathe from your mouth.
Look, you got to pick up the pace, too. You know what I'm saying? Beat on this guy.
Hear me? Okay?
You sure, Bob?
Okay.
More than one shot, baby.
We need to pick it up. Now here. Run them. Run a combination for me, just like on the mitts for me, okay?
Yes, sir.
You run a combination off this, and here, keep stepping forward with the combination. All right, keep the pressure on this guy. You back him up. He's out of there, James. All right, James, he's looking for a reason to quit. Give him one. Okay, son? Come on now.
On the shoulder. Win the round. That's all I'm going to see you do.
Tonight's official scorers are
Back
Glenn
him up.
Feldman of Connecticut, Melvina Lathan of New York, and Steve Weisfeld of New Jersey. Let's see how unofficial scorer Harold Letterman has it at ringside after 9.
Okay, Jim. You know, somehow or another, I just can't take it away from the effective aggressiveness of Vassiliy Jirov. 5-3, 1 even, 86-84, Vassiliy Jirov. I mean, basically, he's been coming forward. Him and James Toney on the ropes for the last 4 rounds. I just outworking him, and that's all there is to it. Since the Jirov a clean, effective punching. Round 8, by the way, becomes 9-9 since Jirov won the round 10-9 and loses a point, then a low blow.
Toney seemed to wobble Jirov momentarily, but Jirov barely even went backward. Just kept leaning forward.
James Toney is a true warrior.
And this is not an easy fight to score.
Nope.
punch is losing snap as well.
Oh, yeah.
Both fighters justifiably tiring.
If Jirov would ever just take a break and lay back for a minute, Toney would take complete control.
Right hand by Toney wobbled Jirov. Jirov takes 3 more shots in a row. Toney's big opportunity right here.
Yes, it is.
This is the best chance James Toney's had to win this fight.
Yeah, and his left hook is a big shot for most of the set. In fact, he knocked out Michael Nunn with the left hook.
And Jirov is trying to protect himself the only way he knows how, by going forward and throwing more punches.
But he doesn't have any power in his punches now.
Does Toney have enough power left to get rid of him?
Toney's got so much experience in pro fights that he can fight off experience for a round or two and do things instinctively without even thinking about them.
He's hitting Jirov more or less at will. This has been a big round for Toney. 45 seconds left in the round. Jirov now tries to produce an energy burst, and that's what Toney's done up to this point. Punch is not coming from Jirov now. Toney's hurt him in this round. For men only. An amazingly aggressive offensive fight from both fighters.
That's the
big left hook by Toney. And the right hand. And the bell saves Jirov as he wobbles against the ropes.
Toney should throw more left hooks.
You got 2 rounds though, baby. Yes, sir. Drop your hands. Drop your hands. 2 rounds. You're going to have to fight. Look, he's looking for 1 shot, man, to stop you. You know what I'm saying? Don't give it to him. You got him over your head, baby. You got him over your head. You can't stand on the inside and not do nothing.
All right, now let's back this guy up like you did. Hey, walk him down now. Here, you had him. Okay, you don't let him off the hook. Okay. All right, you hurt him. Keep walking him down with the head movement. Okay. Walking down with the head movement. Dog.
Here's the end of the round action as Toney landed that huge left hook, and you heard Emmanuel Stewart say James should throw more left hooks. What an amazing round for Toney. Jirov landed 15 out of 104 punches in that round. Toney 44 out of 77. 60% of his punches. So clearly James Toney won the 10th. And what looks like a fairly even fight coming to the 11th. Kind of fight that's likely to raise the reputation of both fighters.
Yes, both guys going to have a lot of credibility after this fight here. James went to the corner to end of, I think, the 9th round, totally exhausted, and comes back and fights such a great fight the 10th round. It's just a warrior inside of him. And he's got a lot of experience.
Tommy Brooks says to Jirov, you can't just stand in front of him without moving your head. Jirov says, yes, sir, then goes right back in and does the same thing.
But he's doing the best that he can. He's trying to win this fight just on outworking James Toney and wearing him down. No precision punching, no boxing, not even power punching, just trying to outwork him. And when you do that with a cagey guy like James, you're going to have to pay a price, even if you win the fight.
Toney looks the fresher of the two as they come down the stretch in the 11th. That in itself is amazing. And Jirov wobbles Toney with a right hand.
Slippery as hell.
Toney not throwing back. Jirov has no energy. And he backs out of the corner on his own. Now James begins to counter again and catches Jirov with a big left hook.
Now here James comes back.
The round has been mostly Toney, but Jirov nearly knocked Toney down. And is liable to win the round on that alone unless James produces another big rally. And here goes Jirov back to the body. fighters are married. I don't see how the wives can watch it.
Oh, this is a brutal fight. And the thing about it, Jirov can box when he wants to, too, from his big amateur background. I saw him get on his toes and box. But the strategy in this fight was just to try to just plain wear James Toney down.
What a courageous round by Vassiliy Jirov. He looked nearly out of it at the end of the 10th. He has come back and dominated the 11th round. This is an act of will by Jirov to take this round from Toney.
Unbelievable round, especially when you look at how bad he was hurt. But he's never backed up. Even when he was hurt, he comes right back in.
Tries the courage of these two fighters. What a show. 11 rounds down, 1 round to go.
Last round, baby. The last round coming up, bro. He's losing the fight. You be careful. All right, this is yours. Put it on him. Last round, he's losing the fight. Don't get careless. Box.
Okay, JT. Now here, listen to me. All right? Championship of the world right here, this round, okay? You gotta put this guy on his ass. I'm serious now, okay? All right? He out-hustles you that round. You don't let him out-hustle you.
Come on, baby.
Okay?
Freddie Roach told his fighter the truth.
Well, it's going to be hard to get out and outwork a guy like, Jirov. The only thing he can do is shoot power punches and hope that he can knock him out by putting everything in his punches.
Give it all you got. Hey, this is your life, son. Just don't get careless. This is your title. Let's go. Look.
Tommy Brooks says to Vassiliy Jirov, this is your life. 3 minutes. The fight of the year comes down to the 12th round. In the 11th round, Jirov threw 100 punches and landed 30. Toney was 36 out of 68. Harold, how do you have it through 11?
Okay, Jim. 105, 103, 6, 4, 1 even. Vassiliy Jirov. Jim, I got to tell you, if James Toney lost this fight, it was because of 6, 7, 8, and 9, where Jirov was just too aggressive, took that big lead, and Toney just couldn't catch up. By the way, in that 11th round, when Toney went back, Steve Smoker pointed to the canvas. I think it was a slip. I mean, there's no question that this ring is wet, and Toney did slip back. But still, it all Jirov won it.
Well, you heard what both trainers had to say. You know what's at stake. If you haven't paid much attention to the cruiserweight division before now, maybe you will in the future. This would be the reason. Right hand by Jirov. Momentarily stunned Toney. Right hand by Toney catches Jirov flush. Crowd on its feet. Well, some of them. Such a small room, you don't have to stand up. Look at the shot.
Oh, my God. He got it with the left hook. The right hand. Jirov is hurt.
Badly hurt. Still going.
Jirov is hurt. Jirov is hurt.
Almost out on his feet.
But he's still smothering James. He's still fighting James. He won't let James get in the punching rooms. Jirov is going. The left hook again. And there he's going again. Now James' experience is coming through now. Oh my God, look at this. Look at this.
Oh my gosh. Toney.
That's it. That's it.
Got him.
It's down.
Almost got him.
Got him down.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
He better do Julio Cesar and run across the ring right away. Oh!
Will the 2-point round have won the fight for Toney?
Maybe.
There we go.
Vassiliy Jirov can barely stand up to celebrate as he tries to raise his hands. James Toney almost got it done in the 12th with an amazing display of precision counterpunching. Both fighters elevate their careers in an extraordinary fight.
Wow. Two warriors.
Well, Emmanuel, I got a hunch we just watched chapter 1.
Yes. I want to see another one of these here. Forget going after Roy Jones Jr. I want to see these two fight again.
Harold, do you have it even after 12?
Absolutely, Jim. 6-5, 1 even for Jirov in rounds, but 113. I got it a draw.
Wow.
That's the import of the knockdown in the last 30 seconds of the fight. Here you are, Emmanuel.
Yes, totally exhausted. James got so much experience that even though he was tired, he was just fighting off his experience and doing things instinctively.
The CompuBox forecast for the fight predicted a split decision, 1-point win for Toney in a brilliant fight.
Oh.
Well, the brilliant fight part of it has certainly come true. Unbelievable series of shots that sent Vassiliy Jirov to the canvas, but by the time he got up, he had no more time left on the clock, did Toney, to finish him off. James Toney connected on 380 punches in the fight. 411 for Jirov. Let's go to Michael Buffer for the official particulars.
Ladies and gentlemen, we go to the scorecards. Glenn Feldman scores the contest 117-109. Steve Weisfeld has it 116-110. And Melvina Lathan scores it 117-109 for the winner by unanimous decision and new IBF Cruiserweight Champion of the World, James Lights Out Toney.
So the judges give victory to Toney for his brilliant display of counterpunching. And James Toney has resurrected his career with a magnificent performance against Vassiliy Jirov. Very close to me, some boxing veterans, Lou Duva, Vernon Forrest, and others, screaming, "What fight were the judges looking at?" They all thought Jirov had won. Final CompuBox numbers, 380 lands for Toney out of 811. If there's a stat there that jumps right out at you, it's the 47% connect percentage for James Toney, who was landing half the shots he threw.
I was so impressed with a tremendous fight. So much inside strength from both guys. You know, and if it could have won another round, Vassiliy Jirov may have came back and tried to turn the fight around.
The power punches graphic, well, I believe this is slightly messed up. I believe it would be that Jirov landed 295 out of 590. But then that would be 50%. The graphic is simply wrong. It would be the other way around. It's Toney who landed half his power shots, and Jirov who was 207 out of 725. And the bottom line is those are all just numbers right now. As Emmanuel, I'm going to turn to my left, where the Cruiserweight Champion of the world is back, James Toney. And James, congratulations on a courageous performance in a brilliant fight. His game plan was obviously to try to wear you out and stretch you beyond your energy level. Did you, in the middle of the fight, measure yourself a little bit to be certain of the strong finish?
Man, I got all the strength in the world, man. First, I want to take the man upstairs. God, you know, he made this happen. Sister Margaret and my Uncle Boo Boo, the pastor back at home, Billy Blanks and all his staff, my whole crew, my wife. Hey, what's happening? Ann Arbor, Detroit, Southside, Ipsy, what's happening? We back. I got another title. I'll fight anybody anywhere. I'm having fun. Man, this guy, he couldn't do nothing with me tonight. I told you, what he brought to the table was not going to be enough. I was ready. I told you all day.
Well, it was a brilliant and skillful performance.
I bring on Lennox Lewis.
All right, I know you want to fight everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll articulate this. He wants to fight everybody from Bernard Hopkins at 168 up to Lewis at 245. And if I remember correctly, you said you'd fight Lewis at 210 with one hand tied behind your back, right?
No problem at all.
Man, he's right over here. He's marking all that.
I love him, man.
James, you won by some pretty substantial scores as it turned out. But your trainer, Freddie Roach, told you before the 12th round, you've got to go put this man on his back. Let's take a look at the sequence through which you put the man on his back.
That right hand was something terrible.
Boom! Exhausted Jirov.
Look, he thought I was hurt. He thought I was hurt. Look at that. I came up with an uppercut, hooked to the body. I hurt him right there. See that toilet gas I was tank right there. He said, ugh. And that right hand was something terrible. Bow! Left hook. Oh, he wanted to fall right there, but then another right hand just for make sure.
But he took those shots all through the fight. Were you amazed early on at his ability to take your clean punches?
Oh, he was taking them, but you can see the effects of it after each round. I hit too hard for people, you know what I'm saying? They can't take that. That's too much power behind that punch right there. That's a Mack truck and a 190-pound body.
You know, you're talking about fighting great fighters for big money, and I'm sure that the opportunities are going to arise. But on the other hand,
I'm the king of John Madden.
James, you just fought the cruiserweight version of Gaddy Ward, or at least a lot of people are going to see it that way, and there's going to be a demand for a rematch. Would you give Vassiliy